Good morning, my name is Calhoun, and today we're going to talk about weed control. You may notice that there's some leaves falling, and I have my sweatshirt on. It is a little chilly, and a lot of times we don't think about doing weed control in the fall, but actually it's one of the times that we can get some very good control of those most difficult pesky weeds like speedwell, ground ivy, and wild violet. It also is a good time of the year to pick up some other ones like dandelion and clover that tend to be in everybody's yard. Now, a lot of us get cooped up in the wintertime and we see those weeds flowering in the spring and we get ready to go. We want to go out there and we want to control those weeds. But what happens is when you go out in the springtime and you want to control this dandelion, you're going to put your herbicide on and it's going to burn down this top. The plant's concentrating on putting all this new growth up, but you're not going to get any herbicide down into this taproot. And for perennial plants, this is the savings. This is where they're getting all their growth from, is from this taproot. That direction of growth in the springtime is going from the roots to the shoots. So you might burn it down, but you'll come back a month later and there'll be another dandelion in that same spot. The bonus of doing something like this in the fall is as the temperatures get cooler outside, that direction of growth goes from roots to shoots, and it switches to shoots to roots. And so the plant starts storing energy down in this taproot, and when you go out and apply a herbicide in the fall, that herbicide is going to follow that direction of growth down into that taproot, and it's going to compromise that plant's ability to survive. The drawback of putting it on in the fall is you don't get to see it die. Because the plant's putting all of that energy into this taproot and compromising that, you won't really see a lot of activity on the top here because that's not where the new growth is occurring. But next spring, when things get going, your weeds will be gone. And like I mentioned earlier, there's certain pesky weeds like ground ivy and wild violet that just can't be controlled really any other time of the year. And so fall is really the best. And when we say fall, we're probably looking at the first couple weeks of October. You want to get out there either just before the leaves fall or wait and do it just after you've cleaned up your last little bit of leaves. Now, if you've made a decision and it's time to go ahead and put on a herbicide, you can go to the store and there's going to be quite a few options for you to choose from. What I've arranged for you here this morning is just some examples of those products that are available, and you can kind of get something that's going to suit what you're comfortable with. Pretty much the easiest thing, but what will be a little more expensive, is getting something that's what we call RTU, or ready to use. And in this case, they've already mixed the water with it and put it in a container where you can go out and you're just going to spray that weed just to get some droplets on those leaf surface. Another option would be to go with something like this that also has a little bit of fertilizer in it. You see in this case, again, this is ready to use, but they're going to hook this up to your garden hose and it's going to siphon out the correct amount of material as you're going and wetting the lawn. The most traditional way would be to buy a concentrated product, and if you do something like that, you're going to need to knock it down or find some way to dilute it. And they have a product here where you can put your amount in, you dial your rate in on the top, again hook it up to your garden hose, and that's going to help you put that out at the right amount. And then finally, this is a little bit newer product here where these containers actually lock onto our dispenser. It siphons it out at the right amount with your garden hose, and then when you're done you take it off and put it away, and you never had to open this container. And so this is a situation where you never have any exposure to any of the concentrated material. They also have fertilizers and insecticides, so if you wanted to spray your rose bushes or fertilize your yard, they have other products in this line. Finally, you could use a granular product, so they'd have the herbicide loaded onto a fertilizer granule. And in that case, you're wanting to get those flakes onto those leaves, and so you probably want to do it while the turf is wet and you can get those flakes to stick to the leaves. As you can imagine, getting the material into the plant with that kind of delivery system is a little bit more difficult than with some of these other products. And that's why using those products in the fall is one of the times where they work the best. So something that might be out of one of the STEP program type fertilizers that's going to have a broadleaf herbicide. Now I have some examples here. Most stores have their own store brand, and most of the products have many of the same materials in it. So pick something that sounds like it's going to get what you want to kill and have at it.